Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss Infosys interview question, and this is the latest Infosys interview question. In this question, the question asks like Selenium interview question, Java interview question, and I will cover all those questions. This question is the latest interview question which asks in the first week of the May. So let's begin. The first question is default versus public access modifier in the Java. So there is a default versus public access modifier. So imagine we have a toy box at a home. If we allow everyone in your building to play with our toy, that's like a public toy, means anyone can access. And if we allow only our family members inside our home to play with our toys, that's like a default, means only within our own package our home can access this toy. So this is the difference between default and the public access modifier. Default means within a package can access the default access modifier, and the public means anyone can access. So technical definition, like public access modifier means it is a most open access level. So member like variable, method, classes declare public are accessible from any other classes, whether they are in the same package or the different package. And the example, like this is a animal class, and here we declare one method like sound, and it print the animal makes sound. So this is a public method, so we can access sound method from anywhere, even in another package. Now the other example is default access modifier. So default access modifier means we doesn't use any keyword. For as like public access modifier, we use the public keyword. For default access modifier, we doesn't use any keyword, it doesn't use any access modifier. So if no access modifier is specified, means it is a default access modifier, and it can access only within the same package, no accessible from classes in other package. So there is a class dog, and it in the class there is a method declare white bar, and here we can't use any access modifier, any keyword for access modifier, so it is a default access modifier. So here we can only call park from inside the same package. So if the package here in the package is a animal, so within this package we can accessible this a bark method like this. So package animal, and here the one class is a lion which is a roar, and the other class is a tiger which grow. So within this package we can access this growl method like that. Now there is a difference between public and default, means as a keyword we use public keyword for the public access modifier, and we doesn't use any other keyword for the default access modifier. Public access modifier access within the same package, default modifier also access within the same package. For the public access modifier we get access from the different package also, but in the case of default access modifier we didn't get any access from the different package. Public access modifier used for the classes, method, variable, and default access modifier also use the classes, method, and the variable. Now the next question is how to explain this question in the interview without star method. So public means the class or the method can be accessed from anywhere, and even from other package also. And for the default means it can be accessed only within the same package. If we don't mention any access modifier, so Java treat it as a default. For example, a method declared as a public can be used in other package after importing, but a method with a default access cannot control from any other packages after importing. Now how to explain this question with the star method. Star, S for situation, T for task, A for action, and R for result. So we have to explain this question in the interview with a star method, like I was working on a banking application where different modules were in a separate packages. So I needed to make utility method reusable across the multiple module. Then for that I declared the utility method as a public, so they could be accessed from any packages. But I kept internal helper classes with a default access, so they were not exposed outside their packages. As a result, this provided both security and reusability in my project, and code was organized and encapsulated properly. So there is a common interview follow-up question regarding this question. So can we use default with class? Yes, but such class is only visible within the same package. What happens if we don't specify any modifier? So Java assign this modifier as a default access. Which is more accessible, public or default? So yes, public is accessible everywhere, default is a package private. Can public class have a default method? Yes, that method won't be accessible outside the package. Yes, public class have a default method, but this method won't be accessible outside the package. Now the final one line interview answer. Public access modifier allow access from anywhere, even other packages, while default access modifier restrict access to the same package only. So in this way we have to explain this question in the interview, and I hope guys you understood this question in very easily. I have tried to explain this question in every answer pattern, and I hope you understood every concept. So guys, I have created 5000 plus interview question and answer, ignored it 3000. 5000 plus interview question and answer. I have gathered this question from various platform like LinkedIn channel, WhatsApp group, Telegram channel, Telegram group, WhatsApp group, and other testing platform, and I have tried to provide its answer in very detail, like with star method, without star method, and I also give it syntax, real world example, coding syntax, real time example, and also included how to explain this question, all questions in the interview. And I am giving its link in the comment box. Comment box and the description box. So if you have these notes, please go through this link and take these notes. If you have any queries regarding these notes, so I am giving my email in the description box. So contact with this email about these notes or any other queries. If you have any other queries, so you can also these queries write down in the comment box, and I also tried to cover it in the next video. Now moving to the next question, and the next question is, what is the method hiding in the Java? So let's see its answer. So our question is method hiding in Java. So imagine you and your dad both have a mobile phone. Your dad has iPhone and you have a toy phone. So when someone call your number, only your phone ring. Even though both of you have phones, your phone works separately and your dad's phone doesn't get involved. So this is like a method hiding. When you create your own versions of something your parent has, but it works separately and doesn't change your parents one, so it is called the method hiding. And the technical definition, like method hiding happen when a static method is declared both parent and child class within the same name and parameter. So that time method hiding happen. Instead of overriding, the child method hide the parents method, and which method get calls depend on the reference type, not the object type. So this is called the method hiding. And this is a real code example, like class parent have a static method show, and the child parents have a method also show, and both method are the static. Now in the main class, when we we create a parents object, parents reference, and create a child object, and we call the p.show, means we call the show method of a child class. So it will show the parent static show, and when we create the child's class object and we call the show method of the child, then it will show the child static show. So because show is a static method, and static method are resolved at compile time on reference type, not a object type. So so we get here the parent static show method, and here we get the output child static show method. So now the question is how to explain this question in the interview. So method hiding happen when static method is defined in a both parent and the child class with a same signature. Unlike method overriding, which depends on the object, method hiding depends on the reference type. So if you call the method using parent reference, the parent static method will be called even if the object of the child class, and this is because static method are resolved at compile time, not at a runtime. Now if the interviewer asks give the real time example, so you can say like that. You can read this question, read this star answers on the screen. Now common mistake in the interview, like thinking static methods are overridden. So there are hidden, not overridden. And thinking object type decide the method. No, for static method reference type decide, not object type. And using override on the static method means it give the compile time error. As a final one-liner interview answer, method hiding occur when a static method is declared in a subclass. when method hiding occur when a static method is redeclared in a subclass, it doesn't override the parent method but hide it, and the method that get called depends on the reference type, not a object type. So in this way we have to explain this question in the interview, that is what is method hiding in Java. Now moving to the next question, and the next question is, write a Java code to print all the array element that appear at least 2 times, means 2 or the greater than to 2. So let's see this program. The question is, we have to print the array element that appear at least 2 times, means 2 or the greater than 2. Suppose this is a array list. So array, and here red appear 2 times, blue appear 3 times, and green and yellow appear only once. So we have to print red and blue because red appear 2 times and blue appear 3 times. So we have to do the Java program for that. Then as a result we get red appear 2 times, blue appear 3 times, means we get a red and blue color. So to print element appearing 2 or more times, here we are using the hash map, like a counting box to count how many times each element appear, and this is our Java program. So in the Java program we use hash map of integer count map is equal to new hash map. So think of this like a notebook where the key is the number in the array and the value in the how many time it appear. So first is integer, first is a key and it is a integer, that is the number in the array, and the second is the value because hash map contain key value pair. So first is a key and here we take the integer value, and second is a value and here also we take the integer value. This integer is the number in the array and this integer is how many time it appear. So now we have to count the how many time each number appear, and for that we are using for each loop. Here int num is equal to array that we have to take this number 153125, and here if the count map dot contains key is equal to num, means if this count map contain this number and it will get automatically increase, else it contain the previous number. So then we have to print element with count equal to 2, and for that we will print element appearing at least 2 times, and here also we in key means our the first value, that is this value, and counts map dot key dot set, here we set the count dot map dot key set, and if the count map dot get of key is greater than or equal to 2, then it will print the count map dot get of key, like that. So let me explain first. It is we take a first integer of array, and this array contain this number like 153125759. For here we are using hash map, and hash map contain key value pair. Here key is also integer type and the value is also integer type. So here key means it is a number, and the value means how many times the numbers appear. Value means how many numbers appear. Okay, the count map means this is the name of our hash map because this is the hash map variable, and we are using new equal to hash map means we are creating new hash map object in memory, and this count map variable is used to count how many time each number appear. I hope guys you understand this line. Hash map of integer count map is a hash map variable, and count map contain count the how many times of each number appear. Now the next line is for of int num colon array, means here we are using a for each loop to iterate every number in the array one by one. So here int num is equal to it is a temporary variable to hold the current number, and array means it means the loop through the array. This array means this is this array, and num means temporary variable to hold the current number. So then next line is if count map dot contains key dot num, means it check if the number is already in the map or not. Then there is a count map dot put of num comma count map dot get of num plus 1. So count map dot get of num means it is the get the current count, and plus means add one more to it. That is, count map dot put means it update the map with a new count. If the number is already there, then increase its count by 1. If the and else means if the number is not there, so add it to the map with count equal to 1. So what this loop did, so is equal to, it did 1 5 3 means it will count how many time 1 appear, how many time 5 appear, how many time 3 appear, like that. Now this line is system.out.println means it will print the message on the screen that is element appear at least 2 times. Now the next is again we will use the for each loop, and here counts map dot key set means it gives us all the key. All the key means it will give the all the number from the array, and here in key means it is a temporary variable to hold the number, and it will go through each number in the map. Now this line is if count map dot get of key means it check if the number appear 2 or more time, and if the number is appear at least 2 time, then it will show it like that. And the final output like this, and the final output of this program like if this 1 appear 2 time, 5 appear 3 time, like that. Now the question is how to explain this question in the interview. So I use hash map to store each number and each element from the array as a key, and its frequency as the value. I loop through the array and either added a number or update its count, and then I filter the map to print only those numbers that appear 2 or the more time, like that. So you read this on the screen by how to explain this using star method. Now moving to the next question, and the next question is difference between comparable and the comparator, and this question is also related to the Java. So let's see its answer. So the question is difference between the comparable and the comparator. So real life explanation means, imagine we are in a class and our teacher want to arrange the student in order. So by roll number means students know their roll number, and the by name or height someone else need to compare and sort them. So comparable means each student say I know how to compare myself based on the roll number, means comparable means students know their roll number. And the comparator means someone outside, like the teacher say I will compare the student based on the name or height. So comparable means students know, or we know that how to compare, and the comparator means someone outside, like the teacher say comparison between the student based on their name and height. So difference between the comparable and comparators means comparable belongs to the java.lang package, and the comparator belongs to the java.util package. The method content compared to, it contains in the comparable interface, and the comparator means the contain the compare method. So sorting logic means it defined inside the class. Comparable sorting logic is defined inside the class, and comparator means its sorting logic is outside the class. So use case means when we have a default sorting or the natural order, we use the comparable, and when there is a custom sorting, so we use the comparator. Functional interface, like yes, comparable has a functional interface, and the comparator is also the functional interface. So this is an example of the comparable interface, and this is the example of the comparator interface. So that's why. And now the question is how to explain this in the interview without star method. So the comparable interface is used when we want to define the default natural sorting of the object. We implement the compare to method inside the class itself. But if we want to sort the same class in the multiple different way, like by name, age or salary, we use the comparator interface. So this is an external sorting logic using the compare method, and the comparator is more flexible and can be reused without changing the original class. So guys, if you want this question explained with a star method, so you can read this on the screen, and there is a quick summary between the comparable comparator as you see on the screen. Now the next question is what are the cases in which where we use the finally block. So finally block means think like suppose you are doing the homework on your laptop, and whether you finish it on or your laptop crashes, so your dad wants you to close all the books and turn off the light at the end. So that's what finally block is. It always run no matter if everything goes well, there is an error, you return early or you throw the exception. So finally block is always executed. Like finally block means you are coding and the IDE and you try to read a file and may succeed or fail, but you always need to close the file no matter what. That time we use the finally block. Common use cases for finally block, like close, if we want the close, if we closing the database connection, so that time we use the finally to avoid memory leak even when error occur. When we have to close the file or input stream, that time we also use the finally block to ensure file are closed, freeing system resources. And releasing lock in thread means prevent deadlock in the multiple thread applications. So and when we want to cleaning the temporary file or log, that time also we use the finally block to make sure file are clean even if the app crashes. Now the question is how to explain this question in the interview. So I use finally block when I want to make sure some cleanup operations that always happen no matter what. For example, when working with file, database or the network connection, the finally block is always ensured that those resources are closed and the release even if there is an exception, and this help in preventing resources leak and unexpected behavior. So you have to explain this question in this way. Now if we have to use the star method explanation, so in that question, so you have to say like, I was working on a project where we read a large data file from a server, so I needed to ensure that the file was always closed after reading, and even if an error like file not found or read error occur. So for that I always use try catch finally block, and because the try contain the file reading logic and the catch handle the exception, and then if finally block always close the file. As a result, we never ran into the memory leak or the file lock, and the system remains stable during the multiple run. So final block is used when we need to always execute some code whether exception occur or not. We use for finally block for closing file, releasing resources, logging, cleaning memory, and it work with or without catch. So in this way we have to explain this question in the interview. So guys, I have explained these all question in a very simple way, and simple way. I hope guys you understood all this question. So I have tried the 5000 plus interview, I have create 5000 plus interview questions, interview question notes, which is for Selenium testing, Selenium automation testing, Java manual testing, REST assured API testing, manual testing. So and these 5000 question I have gathered from the various platform like LinkedIn channel, LinkedIn group, Telegram channel, WhatsApp group, and other testing platform. So if you want these notes, I am giving its link in the description box and the comment box also. So go through this link and comment me if you have any queries regarding notes or regarding any Selenium or automation topic. I have tried to cover this topic in the next video. And if you have any query like other any related to the automation testing or manual testing profile, so I'm giving my email on the description box, so you can contact with me this email. If you like my content, so do like, share, comment and subscribe my channel. And if you do not subscribe my channel, so please subscribe my channel and share with your needy friends. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you so much.